Since breakfast is often considered the most important meal of the day, there are many items that come to mind when one is trying to start their morning off on a good note. Some traditional breakfast items include eggs, bacon, toast, milk, fruit, yogurt, and many others. However, one item that may not come to mind is chocolate cake. The idea of having chocolate cake for breakfast may have some people shaking their head in disgust, but I'm here to change society's traditional views about breakfast. I believe that chocolate cake should be seen as a viable breakfast option. Now, many people would argue that chocolate cake should be the farthest thing from the breakfast table, but I simply do not agree. Concerns of nutrients, weight gain, and feelings of guilt keep people from diving in, but I'm here to put their worries to rest.
One of the major concerns people have about eating chocolate cake for breakfast is the amount of sugar they are ingesting. The online journal Home Health Care Management and Practice even went as far as reporting that sugar is a negative nutrient, or food with empty calories, meaning it is devoid of any nutrients and the body depletes its stored nutrients to metabolize it. Since chocolate cake is more commonly viewed as a dessert, it is not often that it is compared to other sugar-filled breakfast items. Pancakes, French toast, waffles, donuts, and even cereal can have just as much sugar as an average-sized piece of chocolate cake. Pediatrics, which is the official journal of the American Academy of Pediatrics, reported in an article that most pre-sweetened cereals generally have 2.5 to 3 teaspoons of sugar per serving and are considered high in sugar. When it's thought about in that light, the sugar argument seems irrelevant. This article that reviewed a study conducted on the breakfast cereal consumption of pre-adolescent children also argued that there is a critical need to promote breakfast to children, and sugar-sweetened cereal is better than no breakfast at all. The same argument can be applied to chocolate cake. The interesting fact is that some of the items one would normally eat for breakfast can be found amongst the ingredients of chocolate cake. Most recipes call for eggs, milk, and water, which are all things one would normally eat for breakfast. Chocolate cake also helps to meet some of the daily nutritional requirements such as potassium, protein, dietary fiber, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. Weight gain is another major concern when one thinks of consuming foods high in sugar. This seems to be a common notion amongst most women. Lindsay Bray, Rhiannon Fante, and Laura Jacoby reported in their article published in the North American Journal of Psychology that they believe this is due to the fact that foods high in sugar are generally considered bad and are believed to result in weight gain. This, however, is not exactly the complete truth. Of course, excessive consumption of high sugar foods will result in weight gain, but it has been discovered that eating them in moderation can benefit one's weight loss efforts. A study was conducted reviewing the effects of eating cake as part of a balanced breakfast meal. An article published in the New York Times followed two groups of people that were put on identical low-carbohydrate weight loss plans. However, one of the groups included a high-carbohydrate, protein-enriched breakfast with choice of cookies, chocolate, cake, or ice cream. Participants' weight loss efforts were the same during the initial 4 months of the study, but the 4-month follow-up showed that people on the dessert with breakfast diet lost an additional 13 pounds on average, while the others gained back all of the weight they had lost, except for 3.5 pounds. It is believed that because the group was allowed dessert with their breakfast, their cravings were satisfied. The study also discovered that people in the dessert group reported low levels of ghrelin, which is a hormone that controls one's appetite. These dieters felt less hungry throughout the day. Kathy McManus, the director of the Department of Nutrition for Harvard, said in a Harvard Health Letter article that she advocates the idea of incorporating treats into one's diet plan. She feels that avoiding sweets entirely negatively influences one's attitudes towards dieting, which results in more people giving up. She recommends incorporating your favorite foods into a balanced meal plan that supports a long-term approach to healthy eating. So if one is consuming chocolate cake for breakfast and still maintaining healthy eating habits, there is no need to be concerned about excessive weight gain. Because dessert-like foods are often considered bad or forbidden, people often feel depressed or guilty about consuming them. This common notion should be put to rest because it does not coincide with the results of a study conducted on sugar and salt consumption in women. The study reported changes in self-esteem and ideas about body image in women who unknowingly consumed different amounts of sugar and salt. The women who consumed sugar reported less controversial ideas about their actual and ideal body size, demonstrated higher levels of esteem, and were more satisfied with their appearance than those who consumed salt. These reactions seem to be an effect of humans' preference for sweet foods and the way the consumption of sugar-rich foods activates various neural pathways and reward centers in the brain. These reactions in our brains result in happier moods and better evaluations of our body image. Taking these new findings into consideration, I think eating chocolate cake for breakfast is a great way to start your day. One will be happy about themselves and feel better about their physical appearance too.
If more people were to start eating chocolate cake for breakfast, they would have a better chance of keeping weight off while dieting, have a more positive attitude towards their diet plans, and they would also be getting some valuable nutrients needed for daily life. People who eat chocolate cake for breakfast and indulge just a little in their guilty pleasures also become more all-around happier people. I encourage society to start eating chocolate cake for breakfast in order to become these happier people with higher self-esteem and less body image issues. Chocolate cake can be consumed right along with traditional breakfast food items to create a well-balanced breakfast meal. Eating chocolate cake for breakfast has many more positive outcomes than what originally meets the eye, and I think it should be considered at breakfast time. Thank you.